Let's talk about warrants in Massachusetts. So there are two basic types of warrants and a couple of extra ones as well. So the two main types of warrants are a straight warrant and a default warrant. If the police believe you were involved in a crime but you weren't arrested, they'll go to court and apply for a criminal complaint. If the clerk magistrate believes there is probable cause that you committed that crime, they will issue a summons. The summons goes out in the mail to the address that they have on file and tells you to be in court on a certain date. If you don't appear on that date, a straight warrant issues for your arrest. Very often what happens is the straight warrant gets delivered to some address. It could be an old address. It could be an address that has multiple mailboxes and you don't get it. For whatever reason, you don't get notice of the court date and the straight warrant issues because you didn't show up. A default warrant, on the other hand, occurs in a different way. So let's say you go to court for your arraignment. At your arraignment, you're told of your next court date for a pretrial conference. Now, if you don't show up for your pretrial conference on that date, a default warrant will issue. So the main difference is, in a default warrant, you've been in court and the judge tells you directly, return to court on this certain date. And if you don't return to court, a default warrant issues. Default warrants are taken a little bit more seriously than straight warrants because in a default warrant situation, you were told by a judge to be in court on a certain day. A straight warrant, as I said before, can basically get lost in the mail and you could have no indication that you were supposed to be in court that day, and the courts can sometimes understand that. A third type of warrant is a probation warrant. Probation warrants happen in the following type situations. Let's say you've been placed on probation for a criminal matter and you are being supervised by a probation officer. If your probation officer feels that you're in violation of your probation, they can ask the court to issue a probation warrant. So that means that they want you to be brought into court so that you can answer on this alleged violation. So they will send out a notice for a violation and that you have to appear, or if you don't appear, a warrant will issue and the police can then arrest you and bring you into court to answer on the alleged violation. All three types of warrants, the probation warrant, the default warrant, and the straight warrant, authorize law enforcement or police to arrest you at any time because you have that active warrant. Now, sometimes they will go out and look for you. They can look for you at your home. They can look for you at your place of work or anywhere else where they believe that you might be. More commonly, the warrant just sort of sits in the system until they sort of run across you again. So if the police know you and they see you passing by on the street, they can arrest you at that point. If you get pulled over for a minor traffic violation such as speeding, they'll run your ID through their database, and if there's a warrant that pops up, they will then take you into custody and bring you to court the next time the court is open. If you know that you have a warrant, or if you believe that you have a warrant, the best thing to do is to call us immediately. We'll call the court and check on it to confirm yes or no that there's an active warrant in the system. If there is, the only way to get that warrant recalled is to go before a judge of that court. So we'll make an appointment to bring you in to present you before the court to have that warrant recalled. A warrant recalled just means the warrant is canceled. The court will give you a warrant recall, which is basically just a piece of paper that says that you have been to court and that the warrant is no longer active. I always tell people to keep that warrant recall on you for at least a week. The reason being is that sometimes it takes a while for the warrant to actually be reflected that it's been recalled in the warrant management system. That's the database that the police rely upon. So if you're within that period of time, if you get stopped for speeding, for example, the warrant can still pop up. And if you don't have the warrant recall to show the police, they're not going to believe that you were in court and that the warrant has actually been recalled. It's absolutely crucial that you address any warrants that are outstanding as soon as possible. Because what's going to happen is the warrants are just going to sit there unless you have it recalled or you are arrested and brought into court. And it's far better to walk in the front door of the courthouse, especially with an attorney, rather than walk in the back of the courthouse in handcuffs and in police custody. The main thing is we want to get you into court as quickly as possible so that we can take care of the warrant and you can move on with your case.